In my last video, I talked about the reopening of 3 ports in Odessa Oblast. I said this was a significant de-escalation in the conflict in Ukraine. I believe there is plenty of room for many more de-escalations. Sadly, this is not one of them. Beginning August 16th, anyone who receives or distributes humanitarian aid from Russia will be considered a collaborator by the Ukrainian government. They will face up to 15 years in prison. Now, I first heard about this from the Kiev Independent. Now, currently, there is no such thing as independent media in Ukraine. There is only what Zelensky refers to as the United Media. The Ukrainian Independent right now is simply an English language mouthpiece for the Zelensky administration. This is a 100% real tweet. You can go to Twitter and verify this yourself. I looked into this. This was officially announced by the Interior Ministry of Ukraine. This is 100% real. Humanitarian aid refers to food and medicine. Now, there's a very dark side to this. So I want to talk about the Korean War. North Korea, after they had invaded what is now territory controlled by South Korea, they distributed food aid. But you had to attend a North Korean communist political rally to get the free food. And you had to sign your name. And then when the South Korean army captured these lists of names, they were given to state-sponsored hardline militia to go out and murder those people. And while the Korean War was going on, South Korea was saying, "Oh, we're finding dead civilians everywhere. They were all killed by North Korea." And America said, "Oh, yes, all these people were killed by North Korea. North Korea is to blame." And all of America's allies said, yes, North Korea is totally to blame. Years after the Korean War ended, South Korea actually admitted that the majority of civilians murdered during the Korean War were murdered by South Korean forces. They were murdering people for accepting food from the North Korean army. So there is a very, very dark side to this. Now, currently in Kherson, Zaporizhia, Donetsk, Lugansk, in all those oblasts, huge numbers of people have received humanitarian aid from the Russians. And of course, there's a large area where grocery stores can no longer buy foodstuffs from Ukraine. They have to buy products imported from Russia. So if you're a grocery store in the city of Kherson and you're selling a bunch of food products that were imported from Russia, is that collaboration? I mean, the people have no other choice than to eat food coming out of Russia. The chicken served at the KFC in Mariupol probably came from Russia. So is that an act of collaboration? Huge numbers of people are being arrested in Ukraine. We don't know what it's all for. A week ago, the city of Mykolaiv conducted a 48-hour lockdown to hunt for alleged collaborators. And 400 people were arrested. Ukrainian officials are saying 400 people were arrested. Were all these people really collaborators? There's all kinds of dark sides to this. Now, a lot of Western media has even published reports conceding that a lot of the people being arrested in Ukraine are simply being arrested for something they posted on social media. They weren't transferring sensitive information to the Russian army. It's just politically motivated arrests based on something they posted on a social media site. Now, today, August 17th, the official Facebook page of the Kiev Oblast Prosecutor's Office posted a press release saying that a woman was in pretrial detention for denying the crimes of Russian aggression in private telephone conversations. This is an actual press release. You can go on Facebook and see it. This woman lived in Irpin and apparently was on the telephone and told someone that she did not believe official Ukrainian accounts of what the Russian army allegedly had done in her neighborhood. And she was a freaking witness. But now she's being charged with a crime. Now, the Western media tells us that Russia is the one charging people with crimes for speaking out. So people who have protested the war in Russia are arrested and given civil citations. Germany, which is not a combatant, is at least as bad. Germany has arrested people and is charging people with major crimes that face jail sentences for publicly displaying the Z. Latvia has taken this even further than Germany. They arrested a man for waving a Russian flag at a Soviet war memorial on Victory Day. And they said that this was a criminal expression of public support for the Russian army. He faces prison time over this. So no matter what you think about Russia, you can't say, oh, well, Russia is a repressive authoritarian country when Germany and Latvia are doing the same thing. And Ukraine is doing much, much worse. All right, thanks for watching this video. Click the like button, post a comment below. Please subscribe to my backup channels on Odyssey and BitChute. And you can support me on subscribestar.com. And click the like button. New video every few days.